So help me. I had decided to take the plunge and read a Magdalene Visaggio comic. You're watching Ash on Comics. My name is Ash. This is Doctor Mirage, number 1. That's Stan the Man. Should need no introduction. That's Forky. He's a fork and a spoon. He should be called Sporky, but he's called Forky. This is a comic. It actually is a comic. I read this book expecting to trash it because Valiant is just becoming a massive dumpster fire. Mags Visaggio is a terrible writer. She's a terrible professional, hateful against fans. Everything that's wrong with the modern comic industry she represents. 10 years of failure, transitions from a man to a woman, instantly becomes this person who gets work all the time, even though they can't sell more than a few thousand books, sometimes not even 1,000 books. But, you know, gotta have those non-merit hires, gotta have those woke points for the company, and, what have you. So, anyways, I'm not going to go into all that drama now. I decided, mostly because this is a Valiant book. I haven't really done any Mags Visaggio books in the past, because I believe that everyone has the right to make their own book, right? I don't care who you are, what your politics are, your sexual preferences, your race, color, whatever. You want to make a comic book and you want to make it about whatever you want, like what's her nuts, the chick that does Man-Eaters. I don't ever talk about that book because it's an independent, creator-owned book. I personally think it's trash. Like, I have no interest in reading that book. But will defend the right for, I cannot remember her name, for her to make the book. You know, it's let the free market decide, right? But this is not an independent creator-owned book. This is a Valiant comic using a Valiant property. And Valiant, just a few short years ago, was the best publisher in the business. They were rock stars. They were putting out books that were utterly amazing. And now they are becoming virtue signaling, diversity company, hiring milkshake queen herself, Heather Antos, who's just poison to the industry, doesn't, whatever. Moving on. So I read Doctor Mirage. I'm like, well, it's got a nice cover. I've heard some people trash the book. I was like, okay, I'm going to get into this. I don't want my channel just to be, here's the books I read, and I love it. Keep reading more. I do want that, but I want to have some mix and match. I want to have some books that are terrible. I want to have some books that are good. So you can kind of see both sides. You can see the stuff that I love, and you can see the stuff that I hate. But I do pride myself on being honest and true, and I'm not going to just be biased because, this person, like Bendis, for example. Dude is terrible. I hate what he's doing with Superman. He's one of the biggest hacks in the industry. But if the guy writes a good book, I'm going to say it. And truth be told, I want the guy to succeed. I would love for him to be a master. I don't have any reason to want comic writers to suck. What I do want is for sucky comic writers not to get away with being sucky. That's the key. If you're crap, you need to get called on it. But I want you to be great. I would love for you to be the next superstar writer, and I could just praise your work all the time and be like, you're the best. Like that. Why would I want someone to suck? Anyways, my phone battery's dying. I'm going to change the battery before we move on, and then we're going to see what this is all about. All right. Thanks for bearing with me here. Here's the credits for the comic books. Comic books. It's one comic. It's written by Magdalene Visaggio, art by Nick Robles, colors Jordi Belair, letters David Sharp. If you care about, it's like I don't know why. I know why letters get a credit. It's funny. But look at it. Assistant editor Drew Baumgartner, editor Lisa Hawkins, senior editorial director Robert Myers. I think there's like more editors at Valiant than there are comics that they produce. Wow. Anyways. We start off the book. On tonight's episode, the impossible link between here and the hereafter. The woman who can see through the veil between life and death. She knows the truth. She talks to the dead. Hold on. When? Get ready for the death-defying Doctor Mirage! And then we get this page. Look at sad. Close-up on Shan Fan Mirage, world-famous paranormal investigator, lying alone in bed. We need Wen in makeup right away. We're live in 3. Camera 2, keep it tight on Shan. This is our misery shot. Really make her feel it. Is Wen still in makeup? Where's everyone? Where's Lee Wen Mirage? Okay, Shan, get up. They're all counting on you. Goddamn dead people are always counting on you. Camera 1, focus in on the hand. I'm not crazy. I know there's no cameras following me around, but there used to be. I could see ghosts, and Wen knew magic. It's a great hook. Television gold. Sniff. Damn it. Get it together. You've got work to do. There used to be so many cameras. There used to be so many people. Sure, half were ghosts, but who cared? I never learned how to be alone. Now, as you can see, this is kind of typical what you'd expect out of a Mags Visaggio book. You got the nice, depressed character with colored hair. Seems to be prototypical of everything she writes. We get the nice feminine color hues, teal and pink, that are meant to drive men crazy. And right now, everything's fitting into the confirmation bias as I'm reading this book. But I have to give credit where credit's due. This Nick Robles guy is a pretty solid visual storyteller. The art style, could be sexier, it could be cooler. It's not my favorite, but he's really telling a story. Like, I almost don't even need to read. I can follow along so well. And this is a craft of sequential art that's lost in a lot of modern comic creators. There's some that really understand and pursue it and try to develop this craft. And this Nick Robles guy, he's really doing it. I'm not sure how much is part of Mag's script and how much is Nick. I have to assume the latter, that's Nick. But again, got to give credit where credit's due. The main character, so Doctor Mirage sits down. She wants to do this spell, for the first time, I'm alone, but not for long. She starts doing this incantation. It's an ancient spell dredged up from an Indus Valley civilization, 10,000 years forgotten. I spent months looking for exactly the right incantation. Wen will be back. The dead will be back. The network is going to love this. The magician and her ghost husband. It'll be a hit. It's such a great hook. And then shit starts going crazy. And going haywire and backfiring. Blowing up in her face. She knows the truth. She talks to the dead. Hold on. Get ready. And then she starts doing more incantations and she shuts everything down. And she's mad at her. You can just see, look at this, the great storytelling. She's just pissed off at herself. It didn't work. And then there's massive destruction in her house, and she's just lying there trying to keep it together, starts sobbing. And then ding dong. She's like, what the hell? This house is guarded by so much bleeding isolation magic, it should be basically invisible. Nobody should be able to find it. Now, if I'm being entirely honest with myself, magic doesn't seem to be my strongest suit, does it? Probably failed at that too. And so she opens the door, and there's this woman, or girl, rather. Can't tell until later, but got a second to chat about the Lord? I'm like, what? Hey, you want to let me in? We need to talk about stuff. How the hell did you even find me? She puts her foot to stop the door. How the hell do you think anyone would miss you blowing off the roof, clean off your house? So what kind of stuff do you want to talk about? And at this point, the book kind of meanders, and she basically says, I talked to your dead husband, and he sent me to send a message to you, and they're having some tea. I don't know what it is about postmodern comic creators and the idea of just sitting around having food and tea. This is not a superhero book by any stretch of the imagination. And great. I don't know if you can hear that outside. It seems to be lawnmowers or something. Right as I'm recording. Let's power through. It's a Visaggio book. So they keep chit-chatting about, oh, you're dead and so am I, and we're actually in hell, yada, yada, yada. And you can see through these pages, the girl's taking pills even though she's dead, but these pills allow her to see the dead. It's a little bit weird and surreal. She starts channeling her dead husband, and then she connects with him and says, she's like, can you show me? I can. Just remember that none of this is real. Hold on. Get ready, because this is gonna suck. And she channels. She sees her husband, all this stuff, blah, 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 blah. And then it's over, and she pukes. And the other girl says, yeah, it does that first few times, but you get used to it. I like to think of it as the chthonic boom. It's what happens when you cross a divide, when you open your eyes. And I was like, this is kind of Matrix-like, but it's cool. And you can see she's happy she saw her dead husband. And this girl is obviously more than she appears, and she talks about, we're in hell, this is a prison, and it's kind of interesting world building, I have to admit. The problem here is I don't care about these characters. But at the end of the book says, so do you want to get out of here? So if you want to get out of here, I think I can help. But I've got to warn you, everything you just saw, well, it only gets worse from here. So are you out? Or do you want to come with me and see the parts of hell even the devil's scared to visit? So that's the end of the first issue. I have to be honest. It's an okay first issue for the right crowd. If you just want to read a book about two women talking and being, of course, perfect buddies and friends, because in modern, postmodern comics, that's always how it works. They always have funky color hair, piercings, and they perfectly get along, yada, yada, yada. There's no superhero-ness to this. This is pure indie style, almost like Vertigo wannabe. This is like, I almost feel like that's what Valiant's doing here. It's like, oh, we could do a Vertigo style comic. And if you're into that, I can see some people actually kind of enjoying. I don't know where it's going to go from here, if Mags is going to be able to deliver on this story, if to be able to make it interesting. But as the first issue goes, it didn't suck. It kind of bored me in the fact that, like I said, the content of just seeing two women talkity talk. But let me just tell you something. This comic is better than a Bendis comic. Visaggio confirmed, better than Bendis. Yeah. So I was expecting to tear this apart and rip it up and just be like, oh my God, look at how horrible this is, but it wasn't. It didn't offer me what I wanted. I'm not going to necessarily be back for another issue, but I can see the right crowd being okay with this. This is a 3-star book. This is doing what it should do, not excelling, but not really failing. And Nick Robles, credit to Nick Robles, really carries it. I wish he had some better material to work with, more interesting characters. But his visual storytelling, bravo. So that's it. I wish I had something more hilarious, or not that I'm hilarious, but I wish I had something more entertaining to bring to you. I don't, and I'm not going to just make up shit about Mags just to try to get clicks. So I'm sorry if you're disappointed, if you thought I was just going to shit all over this book. I did intend to, but I did keep to my integrity, and it's like, I got to be real. I'm sure there's plenty of other bad books that can be shit on, and if I just shit on books because I want to, then I'm the problem, not the books. So hope you agree. Tell me what you think about what you saw the book, if you've read it, what you think. You're probably not even watching this video. This is going to probably be a low-click video. But there it is. Doctor Mirage. Tell me if you're going to get issue number 2 on sale the day before my birthday. All right, thanks for watching.